When I was 17, I came home to silence. No footsteps, no laughter, no life. Just an empty house and a note on the counter. You'll figure it out. 8 words. Cold, efficient. Like a final instruction from people who were supposed to love me. I remember standing there, my backpack still on, the late sun bleeding through the blinds. The clock ticked. The refrigerator hummed. I thought it was a prank at first. Maybe they were testing me, teaching me some twisted lesson about independence. But as the hours passed, the truth crawled in like frost under a door. They were gone. 2 states away, I'd learn later. New address, new life, new start. Without me. I survived the first week on vending machine snacks and anger. The second on pity and stubborn pride. By the third, I stopped waiting for them to come back. I dropped out of school, picked up night shifts, and slept in a storage room behind a gas station. I remember counting change under the flickering light, whispering those words, "You'll figure it out," like a curse, like a vow. And I did. I figured it all out. It took 12 years. I built something from nothing, a business, a reputation, a life that looked impossible from that empty house. I wore suits that fit, drove cars that didn't stall, and signed checks with a name they once told me wasn't worth anything. Then, last spring, my phone buzzed. The name on the screen stopped me cold. Mom. She started with small talk, as if we'd spoken yesterday. "I saw your company in the news. You've done so well for yourself." I let her talk, let her fill the silence she left 12 years ago. Then came the reason. Not love, not guilt, but need. They'd lost everything. My father's business collapsed, their savings drained, the house foreclosed. They wanted to reconnect. I almost laughed, but I didn't hang up. Instead, I said, "Of course, let's meet." Because by then, I'd learned something about revenge. It doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be clean. I flew out to see them. The same 2 people who had vanished without a goodbye. They looked older, smaller. Time had carved guilt into their faces. Though I could tell they still didn't regret leaving me. They regretted losing money. We met at a diner off the highway. The kind of place that smells like burnt coffee and broken dreams. My mother's hands trembled as she stirred her tea. My father talked about forgiveness like it was a transaction. I let them talk. Every word was an opportunity, a thread in the web I was weaving. When the check came, my father reached for his empty wallet. I smiled. "Don't worry, I've got it." He sighed in relief. The irony didn't miss me. A week later, I called them again. I told them I was building a new branch of my company nearby, a second chance, maybe even a job for him, a house for her. They believed me. Desperation makes people gullible. I offered to help them manage their remaining assets. Legal paperwork, investment advice, all very official. They signed everything without reading. They always trusted people with money more than people with hearts. What they didn't realize was that the assets they had left, the tiny house, the pension fund, the insurance, were now in my name. Legally transferred, irrevocable. When the realization hit, I wanted to see their faces. So I arranged one final meeting. I met them at that same diner, same booth. My father's eyes were hollow. My mother clutched her purse like it held her last breath. He said my name like it hurt. "You tricked us." "No," I said quietly. "I learned from you." My mother started crying, asking why I'd do this. I leaned forward, calm, steady. Because 12 years ago, you left me with nothing but a note. I figured it out. And now, so will you. I slid an envelope across the table. The deed transfer, the account statements, all of it. Proof of what they'd lost. Proof of what I'd gained. You always wanted me to be independent, I said. Now I want the same for you. Then I stood up and left. That was 8 months ago. Sometimes I wonder if they found another diner to sit in, trying to make sense of how it all went wrong. But mostly, I don't think about them at all. People say revenge doesn't heal anything. They're wrong. It doesn't heal, it balances. They built their lives on abandonment. I built mine on survival. And when the scales finally evened, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Now, when I pass that old phrase around in my head, it sounds different. Not a curse. Not a scar. Just a truth. They were right. I figured it out.